Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa iti namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa iti namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Siddhaswarupananda Jaya Jaya Goranga Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Goranga Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Goranga Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Goranga Jaya Jaya Goranga Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Goranga Jaya 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 Goranga Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Rama sa Tigor Bhattabrinda.
Bhakta Shri Krishna Triada, Namo Nikarada, Vihati Kalanara, Vikasani Bhakta Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guranga Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guranga
Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Mohana Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Mohana
Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guranga Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guranga
Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Mohana Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Mohana
Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guranga Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guranga
Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Mohana Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Mohana
Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa
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 Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila
So let us continue our study program. Yesterday, we celebrated the appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev and the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj. We were not able to discuss and narrate how Prahlad Maharaj, under the loving care of his spiritual master, who assisted him while he's in the womb of his mother, when the demigods, during the fight, they invaded the place of Hiranyakashipu, and the mother, the wife of Hiranyakashipu, is pregnant, and the child in the womb is Prahlad Maharaj. So the demigods, seeing Hiranyakashipu is not there, and the wife is there, and they're thinking that, oh, let's kill this child, this demon inside the womb, and the mother, But Narada Muni interfered and stopped them from committing a heinous activity of killing a devotee of God, and instructed them, advised them, and he took that pregnant mother, the wife of Hiranyakashipu, to his ashram until she gave birth to the child. So when Prahlad Maharaj was with his father and his demoniac friends, his meditation, his focus is not what everybody in this material world are experiencing, because we look from the outside with our eyes, we see things. And Prahlad Maharaj, because he is guided by his spiritual master, Narada Muni, his meditation is not of this world. His meditation is in harmony with the transcendental loving service that is ongoing on in the spiritual world, a world that is not touched by this material world. So, in our study program, what is it that this school, this demoniac school, is trying to focus, to meditate, to be their direction? It is the meditation upon learning skills to be in control, to be dominator. So, as the CEO or the top dude or the top guy running the university, the guidance is centered around economics, manipulation. And if we look closely here around us, let's not talk about, something that is beyond, but rather receive information coming from someone who have seen the truth, who knows the truth. And in this case, Prahlad Maharaj, the perfect disciple of Narada Muni, as a child of Hiranyakashipu, his focus is different from the focus of his father, his classmates, his teachers, and he tried to guide them, to invite them to enter in that world that is eternal and that will give satisfaction to the heart, that will be in parallel with what is the wish, the desire of the Supreme Person, in harmony with the Supreme Person. So if we study this science, the Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, all these instructions points to being situated in our natural world. Our Gurudev gave the example of a fish on the seashore, out of his environment, water, and is gasping. No matter what he does, no matter what people or those who are around him try to assist him, but he's out of his environment. So that is a science we must understand. We must be able to connect ourselves. When we come to this world, because we want to do our own will, Krishna gives us this body, and we try to dominate material nature, this field of activity that we are in. We try to dominate material nature, but sadly, we are doomed because we become encumbered, we become dominated, we become enslaved because material nature is more powerful than us. But in illusion, we try hard, hoping against hope, toiling hard, struggling. We're struggling so hard to be in an environment where we should not be. We're struggling so hard in an environment that is completely foreign to us. This material world, this material energy. But through the guidance of someone who is in harmony with the transcendental eternal world of loving devotion that is ongoing in the spiritual world, as exemplified by the residents of Vrindavan through the pastimes of the Lord. We try to see them. In our heart, we try to, I hope, I'll go there, I'll be with them. But to go there, to be in that world, we must be guided by someone who is a resident of that world, who knows how we can be connected in harmony. So the science of Bhakti Yoga means loving devotion It's not a science of imposing. It's not, it goes beyond salvation. It goes beyond manipulation. So when a person, we follow someone who is not really the representative of God, it's like following someone with this covering, like a shell. The shell, devotee. But it's not substantiated with what should be inside the shell. It is the person, the loving servant of God, who is not touched by material consideration, who is free from these encumbrances, who is master of his senses. Why is he in that state? Because he is in harmony with that love, that affection, that he is always trying hard to enhance and make it very, very sort of like it's become intensified. That love, he clings to it, meaning everything he does is what his loved one or her loved one wants. To please that loving, that person is a word of love. It's always a word of love. So that science can be understood. That eternal science of pure loving devotional service can be understood when we are guided by the devotee of God, who is a lover of God. We speak about devotional service. How can we achieve it? Theoretically, love for God. But Prahlad Maharaj is a personification of what that love is. It is a meditation upon doing the will of God. None other, just doing what is pleasing for making myself amiable always to please the person I love. So he comes chanting the holy names. Because his love, it expands, it's overflowing. That whoever comes in contact with him, through his association, that love is now invoked. It begins to grow. Our meditation, when we come in contact with our spiritual master, Jagad Guru Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, coming from the line, the dearmost disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, he taught us that the reason we are separate from what we're longing, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, is because of our focus, our meditation, our activities. Those activities that has been ongoing in the past has put us in this predicament. Sometimes we think we have read Sri Upanishad, we know about it, but that science is very deep. Like the first mantra, our spiritual master gives us this guidance. He tells us everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is owned and controlled by the Supreme Person. So that mantra also advises us that there is a quota allotted to us already. And we should only take and use that quota that is allotted to us. So, when a person hears this, he begins to see and apply that teaching to be in harmony with what is pleasing to God. Previously, we don't know why we're entangled here. But our spiritual master tells us a certain activity leads to a certain consciousness, meaning there are laws in this world, the laws of karma. And by nature, we are active. We have this body. We cannot stop activities because activities are inherent with the spirit soul. The spirit soul is always active. But the question, what activities should an individual engage in? So that foundation of this truth helps us understand the science of karma yoga to be aware that I'm just a caretaker. I come here with nothing, I live with nothing. All of this that is here belongs to someone. And that someone is sweet Govinda, who is always smiling, whose heart is very sweet and gentle, very soft. But because of our association with matter, contaminated by these desires, based upon bodily identification, and reinforced by this disharmony of doing our own will. The science of God, in a nutshell, is to do the will of God. The reason we're suffering because we want to do our own will. So Krishna gives us this field of activity. You want to play God, imitate me? Okay, you can do it. But in this case, you're responsible for your action. There are karmic reaction. So when you try to manipulate matter, there'll be reaction, good or bad. Because there are laws in this material world, the laws of karma. But Krishna is very kind, very sweet. He wants to give us happiness, that under the guidance of His dear loving friend, He teaches us how to engage in karma yoga. Karma action. Yoga means union. Karma yoga and bhakti yoga, the difference is there's no difference in a truest sense, because it is an action, it's an activity. These are activities that will be the communication, the connection that the living entity who is now encumbered in this body can engage in, to taste what we are always anxious, to be in harmony with these teachings that is guiding us, that everything that is here belongs to the Supreme Person. It does not belong to us. So if we're wanting to have a relationship with someone, and it's given to us, He takes care of us. But because we are not in harmony with that love, the love for the unlimited, this craving for the unlimited, which is an ongoing quest for us, directed upon this world, it's never satiated, meaning it's never satisfied. And it's a burden. We use only the quota that is allotted to us. So, if we really are eager to hear, to understand the truth, We must be guided by this principle. And that principle, we can look at the life of Prahlad. He's telling his classmates, chant holy names, enter that world, because time will come, you will be overloaded with this load. Now look around. What is this load we're carrying? We have identified ourselves as this body. We have identified ourselves as the mind. We have become servants of the mind and the desires. And in our pursuit for protection, for security, for happiness, we over-endeavor for things. Krishna has arranged it already that we have this quota. But because we are not satisfied within, we want more, more, more. So let's be talking about ourselves, our situation. Where am I? What is my state of consciousness? So the spiritual master guides us. He does not threat us. There's no such thing as to be guided. You must have this qualification. No. Everybody is qualified because everybody is a child of God. And the reason Krishna comes, because He wants us to be happy. The reason the spiritual master comes, to give us this love, because He has this so much love and compassion that we have been suffering for long away from our friend, our Father. And He invites us to enter that world. So now, in our study program, what has encumbered me, what have shackled me, is this world activities. My meditation now has been diverted. That my protection, my shelter is this world. So I try to accumulate things. And it's very hard to accumulate things. Because it's not easy to earn money. You look around, people are struggling to earn money because money is synonymous for control. If I have money, I can buy things, I can, have control. But who's earning so much? And even those individuals who earn so much, they're also miserable. They are not able to, if a person, he earns so much, more than his quota, billions and billions, trillions and trillions. But he's always anxious. He tries to earn more. Have you seen anybody in this world? In our experience, multi-trillionaires and billionaires have come to the point, I have so much, and I see the people around, they're struggling so hard to earn what I have. Enough of this. I'm gonna share it to you. All of you, come. Line up. I'll give you what you're looking and hankering. No, he's a miser. No. What does he do? He puts it in offshore banks. So nobody can see it. And he won't pay taxes. These liabilities of having so much. And he tries, work so hard, get things, and then time comes. He's so overburdened with this insecurity. So his mind is simply focused upon control. But because he's not the supreme controller, he's always in anxiety. So our spiritual master, through this guidance in the teachings of his Sri Upanishad, he's guiding us. Don't take that load. You will be, what they call, this load will trample you. And you cannot move anymore. You'll become like this tortoise who is covered by mud. And the mud have become so hard, petrified, and he cannot move. Become free from that. Follow this science because Krishna has given you already the quota that is allotted to you. And what should you do now? The meditation should be, who owns everything? who's giving me this comfort and love and compassion. That is the Supreme Person. And the devotee of God is a perfect example of that person. Prahlad Maharaj, our Gurudev, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, they are the perfect example of someone who teach by example because they live the life of harmony in loving devotion to the Supreme Person. That is yoga. Now, I have this body. Instead of trying to squeeze happiness through this body, I should use this body as a vehicle, as a medium. Although I know it's not mine, stop trying to squeeze happiness, trying to be a robber, a thief. I should offer everything to the owner, to my dear friend. So when we come in contact with the devotee of God, he teaches us this science. And then when we follow the process that has been emphasized on and on and on and on, the Supreme Purifier is the Supreme Person. The Holy Names is the Supreme Purifier. He is the foundation. He is the support for what we're longing. What is everybody longing for? Where can I, put this treasure that I have? This love, my life. Where can I take shelter and bow down and give my life, my love, that I cannot be trampled, kicked. I can be very safe. That is by guidance coming from the lips of the pure loving servant, Prahlad Maharaj, our Gurudev, the Parampara. We can now be sheltered, our love. We can offer our life and embrace and put it under the lotus feet of our Gurudev, under the lotus feet of Krishna, who is very sweet, who will never leave us. So they're inviting us to enter that world. Prahlad is inviting us to enter that world that has no misery. So it should be an eye-opener for us that what has encumbered us, what has enslaved us, what has separated us, is this selfish desire, that this natural love in our heart, we have become selfish, and we are now offering it in the altar of materialism, because we have been contaminated by this material disease. And this material disease has encumbered us, has conditioned us to think we are the body, we are the mind and the desire. So now we know the problem. And the spiritual master is the physician, the doctor, tells us this is the problem. And if you're serious to solve the problems of life and stop from being carry on this load on and on, follow this science, the science of karma yoga, action in the service of God. So our process is different from the process of someone who's not really the representative of God, who's posing as a shell. One time I was, there's this group. It's not for us to be sanctimonious, feeling holier and better than others. But it should be a guiding principle to see who is a real devotee. And the guidance is that he must be master of his senses. So we should not be gloating. Oh, not devotee, not chanting. That is not what I'm trying to discuss here. It's not this arrogant, sanctimonious consciousness, feeling entitled What I'm discussing is this. The spiritual master wants to help us, to put us in a safe situation. So that's why he's teaching us to connect ourselves in harmony, meaning the meditation, the focus we should be focusing. So here we're advised to find someone who's really self-realized, who have accepted a bona fide spiritual master, who sat under his lotus feet and have heard the truth and understood the truth. His guidance is under the guidance of his guru, who is the representative of God, just like Prahlad Maharaj. He gives the holy names, passed the holy names, under the guidance of Narada Muni. The world of Narada Muni is centered around the glorification of the transcendental loving pastimes of the Supreme Person. And we are so blessed to be guided by Prahlad Maharaj through his life's example. It's revealed to us this world. Now, if a person is really making progress towards spiritual life and you're really loving the Supreme Person, it's natural that you don't want that your friend, your brothers suffer. So what you do is you try to give them the process that has helped you, that has directed your life, that the refuge you have now is the eternal refuge of Govinda. So it's not about laws. It is not about imposing. But because we have been contaminated, conditioned by material enjoyment, we want freedom from this suffering. Because to be carrying this load of lust and greed and anger, to be muddled, to be, you're squished, kicked from one body to another, traveling in this cold, lonely world away from Lord Krishna. You want now to be liberated, free from this, to be connected. But we must be guided in a proper way. And the science of karma yoga will help us to be connected in harmony with that eternal refuge where we can direct our love. So the spiritual master is the able person to do that. He's like the sun. This is an analogy. Just by his presence, there's clarity. So if we enter the world, we see the sun god. And we enter that world of that light, we begin to see a different world from what we see here. So the spiritual master loves us so much. He's not telling, I choose you, I choose you. No. That's why this science is for everybody. When our spiritual master, grandfather spiritual master is leaving the planet, everybody, a lot of people anxious. Who will be his successor? And when individuals came in contact with this divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, they saw the wealth of Krishna. It's very, wonderful. They got attracted to the wealth. And their heart and mind have been focused upon that wealth. But our spiritual master is guided by his love for his Gurudev. And he's revealing his heart, his mind to us. And that is based upon humbleness and humility. He goes around canvassing And he begs, Krishna's friend begging, my dear suffering brother, my dear suffering friend, you have a friend whom you've forgotten. And he introduced us to that friend. And when we chant the holy names of our eternal friend, Lord Krishna, we will be guided by our Gurudev. Even though we don't see him physically. Just like when Prahlad was passing the holy names to all the demoniac classmates. This instruction of passing the holy names has become natural because this world, the holy names, is the source of life. It is what we're longing for. It's the complete whole. Everything emanates from God, the holy names. And it is being discussed by authorities and written in scriptures. Brahma Samhita, Sri Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita. So the meditation should now be a different focus. In the right direction, in harmony with God. So one time back to this person, putting up a shell, trying to be an actor. An actor. Actors try to emulate someone's life. And in this case, he sees from the outside. So he acts and try to act as a devotee, acts as a representative of God. But the substance is not there. It's just a shell. So when the test comes, he speaks every day about surrender. He even cries, He tries to, jumpstart everybody with this love bomb in emotion, takes people's sentiment, crying in front of the audience, trying to hype them, to feel sorry, to express their longing for salvation. It's a sentimental activity. Sentiment. When he's gone, he's gone. The problem is not being addressed. His life is not in harmony with what he should be focusing, because he does not know about it. He's just an actor. So time came. This person, supposedly teaching about transcendental message, trying to pose as the representative of God, trying to pose as the follower of Jesus, who's teaching us the glories of God. One day, he was caught inside a car with 3 prostitutes. He is engaging in illicit activities. He's servant of his genitals. His happiness, in his frustration, he tries to embrace matter, and in his anger, it is released through sexual release. That is anger. Anger doesn't mean you just curse. Anger is when a person who is in bodily identification tries to release this anger through the senses. And in this case, he became the servant of his senses. So one qualification of a devotee of the spiritual master is master of his senses. His mind is his friend. He's the director of his senses. So someone who is posing as a devotee Somewhere along the line, the shell is uncovered. Right? There's no substance. That in face of adversity, illusion, he becomes not only enamored, he's sucked in, just like this teeny-weeny insect goes directly head-on to this giant spider web. And the giant spider with these fangs and 8 legs suck his blood. So he got caught by the policeman because the policeman roaming around, so what's that? And he was caught with 3 prostitutes. And it's now known. So everybody's shocked. So that is the danger when you follow someone who's not really God, who's not really the representative of God. Because all your longing for shelter and expectation that you have taken shelter of this person, you put your life upon him, and then he falls down. So the spiritual master is infallible. When you come in contact with the representative of God, you're in front of God. He is infallible. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, seemingly a small child. His father, who's in control almost of this universe, tries to trample him. Cannot. No fear. So when a person follows the spiritual master, he goes beyond salvation. Bhukti mukti. It's not anymore. I enjoy, I engage in simple activity, I want to become free. But now I'm free, I practice these yoga asanas. You know, I'm not this body, I eat vegan food, I'm now so pure. But there is this mind, so much attraction, a longing, an itch to taste again what has not been addressed. Immediately, the senses are very strong. His mind becomes strong so much, and the desire, because the desire now, the desire that he has not been transformed into the desire in purity to do the will of God in harmony, because he followed someone who's not in that consciousness. So we are advised not to follow someone who's not really infallible. And the spiritual master is infallible. Look at Prahlad Maharaj. The glories of Prahlad Maharaj. I'm just a simple teeny-weeny living entity. When I saw Tusta Krishna Swami expressing his heart, telling, I will glorify the Supreme Person, but seeing his humbleness, he's telling, I'm just an insignificant person, teeny-weeny, not even, does not count. And I am being allowed to offer to the sun this small fire, this candle. This humility that he has. We enter the world to taste that humility by hearing from the devotee of God. So much knowledge, so much wisdom, that every time we hear, every time we see, it connects us with that love. We begin to long for that. So we'll cut our study program here because I've been speaking for quite a while. We'll continue that tomorrow. And that will be centered around humbleness and the state of consciousness. Our Gurudev wants us to be in harmony. Haribol Namaste. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa iti namine. Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa iti namine. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga. Bhaji Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Haribol, Haribol, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev.